Welcome back to part 2 of Honoring Authority. Last week we talked about King Saul and David, that transition period where David had to be under the authority of Saul, and he was not a good leader. He was not a good king at that time. He's starting to go crazy, but we kind of talked about how David still honored him, knowing that he was the authority in his life. So now we come back to part 2, and we go back to that sentence. When it comes to authority, it's not about them, it's about the Lord. So we're going to dive in again real quick to David. Let's set the scene. So David, he almost got killed by King Saul, so he decides to run away. He's like, you know what? King Saul has gotten to a place where my life is now in danger, and I need to remove myself from here. So he runs away, and King Saul, still kind of raving, right? Taking the word from the word. He was still raving and wanted to kill David. He takes 3,000 men and he follows him. It's kind of hard for him to be like sneaking around to get to David. So David knew the whole time where he was. One night, David takes one of his men and they go down to King Saul's camp. Now imagine you're in the middle of a desert and there's 3,000 men and they're all set up in a manner that they're going to protect the king. And something happens right there. The person that David brought with him, he says, just going to paraphrase the word, he says, wow, what a miracle. You have an opportunity to take King Saul's life right now. And you can end this torment, or you can end this whole situation in your life right now by killing King Saul. And one of the things that really stands out, and this is kind of like the root of what King David was, his heart was always to honor God. His heart was always to please God. So he sees that opportunity and he quickly understands the authority that King Saul has is connected to the Lord. So he does not want to do anything that is going to be against the Lord's will. So he sees that opportunity and he says, no, do not even touch him. Do not lay your hand on him. I am not anyone, like, who am I to kill God's anointed one? So saying like, I am nobody. I don't have an authority. I am not somebody that's going to challenge the Lord's will. So he understood the plan. He understood where he was at the time, where he was just in a transition period before he became king. How does that relate to us? So when we go back to your relationship with this teacher or parent or coach that you struggle with because the way they run their class or the way they manage the things, you feel like, oh, I could do better than that. Why are they doing it this way? Why are blah, blah, blah. We have to understand, like, okay, they have a plan. They have an overall plan, and I'm just focusing on these little things. And when we become a nuisance, or we start challenging those teachers, we start messing up their overall plan. So I strongly believe, if we go back, if David would have taken King Saul's life at that moment, he would have delayed his time as king, because then people would have seen that there was a reason why David left in a bad manner, right? And that Saul had the right to kill him, meaning that the people of Israel, though David had gained their trust and everyone knew he was a great leader, he would have split that. He would have split the people, and they would have been undecisive. Like, is he really would he be a good king? He did that. He killed Saul. He rushed things, or he didn't honor that authority. So it would have delayed things. So in that same sense, like, the Lord has placed these people, these teachers in your life for a reason, whether it be to learn from their mistakes, or to even learn how to honor authority when they really don't deserve it, because that's connected to the Lord, right? That deals with your heart. If you start challenging them consistently, what does that say about you when the Lord tries to give you instructions to bless your life and you don't like these instructions or the things that the Lord has asked you? You're going to immediately fight it. You're going to ignore it, attack it, or whatever. So meaning you're going to delay the blessings that the Lord has placed in your life. So right now you're in a season of learning. You're in transition, right? You're not a kid anymore, but you're not an adult, meaning that you need to learn your boundaries. You need to learn how you're going to deal with situations that aren't good for you. So in this challenge for today, I just want you to read 1 Samuel, which talks about the life of King Saul, how he became a king, and then how it transitions to David and how he became a king. I think it's very important for you guys to see that dynamic, how that worked, how the Lord blessed David even in that tough transition, and how David honoring King Saul really blessed his reign as king, and how he was able to really receive the full blessing because he was honoring a king even though King Saul didn't deserve it. So see ya in a couple days. Bye.